and welcome back to another Cloud Show episode. This is in the series of Larry says, "No, I'm not cheap." we have a new T-shirt that has there, "I'm cheap," and it has a big cross on the side. Larry, what's
No.
this? You're
See,
spending money, I hear.
I am, but but, okay. I'm cheap on things that don't matter. I think this is cool though,
Oh,
and I think this is worth, spending a little money on because.
oh man.
So what
Let's
it
talk
is?
about it. Let's
Look,
talk about
it's
it.
the Intel Compute Stick, right?
Oof, compute
So
stick.
you and I, this is the Cloud Show.
Yep,
The idea behind the Cloud Show is that you do everything in the cloud,
indeed.
and uh, this reason there are two reasons that I'm getting this. Okay, one is okay. It's got to be able just to walk in with this thing in your pocket and plug it into whatever HDMI ports available and just start working.
So like,
Um,
there's a TV screen right over there. Plug it in.
yeah, plug it in and pull out your little USB mouse, or better yet, a wireless mouse and a
Wireless
portable
keyboard.
wireless keyboard, and you're computing. But what I'm looking at it for is you can kind of always do that. Somebody's got a computer that you can use, and you can connect to the cloud. I can set this up to automatically be connected to my Azure um, environment. And what I'm really thinking that's going to be fun, and I've been needing a kick in the keister to get the playing video games in the cloud stuff working. And so what I want to do is I want to set this up and be able to stream my video games from anywhere. Here, now it looks a lot sexier, doesn't it?
It's getting there, but all right. So it's cheaper than a console right now.
It is cheaper than a console, but it's a. I'm not going to put Visual Studio Enterprise or any of that heavy stuff on it. This is also going to be something that will force me to use code
Right. There
and
you
do
go.
things in the cloud the way that I should be doing anyway.
I knew I'd get you there. VS Code.
Oh, VS Code, exactly. So it looks good too. I
Okay.
mean, it's a little bigger than you probably think.
Okay. So yeah. So that looks really tiny. That almost looks like a little USB that you stick on the side of your cord. But you're saying it's bigger. So let's see what this looks like. Let's see. It's compute stick form factor. Let's see roadmap. Everything else. Look at this memory. 12.8 gigabits per second. That's the memory bandwidth. So it's quite a bit. It comes with 2 gigs inside of it right off the
You're right.
bat.
2 gigs of RAM. It's got a 32 gig hard drive. Big air quotes there.
Holy
It does
smokes.
have a micro SD XC port. And the one that I'm getting is coming with Windows 10 Home installed. If you click the link, yeah, third one from the left,
All
that's
right.
it. And then scroll down inside that. We'll see the actual
See the
sizes.
PDF over here in just a moment. Where are you? There we go.
But we
Here,
want to
here we go.
down inside that PDF to the third page, and it'll tell us about it. So it's a quad-core Intel Atom processor. It's
Oh, there it is.
um,
Check it out.
oh, there you go.
Oh, look at
A
that. See,
USB 2
so
port, a
there you
USB
go.
3
That's how.
port.
Now that gives you a good perspective because everyone knows how big this is
Right.
relative to if you put your finger on that, you'll see how big it is, and then just simply scale out and show what it is. It's got a security notch. Ooh. And there's the micro SD slot.
Yeah,
There.
HDMI ports are bigger than USB ports, and it kind of looks like a USB stick, but when you realize that top thing that's sticking out is actually the HDMI port.
HDMI. Then now that begins to make sense, and that's a regular HDMI, not that funky to the left HDMI.
Oh yeah, no, regular good old HDMI.
Look
So,
at that.
so that's what I'm.
Well, look at this. Usage module. Home
Joking.
entertainment. PC like embed. Productivity. Thin client. I think this is like mostly your use, and this is your I want to be gamer one over here. But this is it. We're thin client.
Right. And also, I've got way too many DVDs, and we've been cheap for years
Yep.
and haven't done cable or HBO or any of that stuff. So when movies come out that we wanted to watch, we would just go buy them.
Uh-huh.
Because then you get to watch them over and over again, right? Long
True
term.
enough.
But now we've got so many that just keeping them around is kind of a pain. So I'm digitizing them and I'm going to stream them.
Well, like Netflix will allow you to download your movies on the go.
Now, yeah, I've got that, and you use that on the subway. I use a Pluralsight. Will let you download courses.
Yes, that's something that we've requested for a while, and they're doing that now. Pluralsight, by the way, is one of the examples of like, hey, let's leverage the cloud for all our stuff because Aaron Sconner was tired of buying lots of machines, and he got the religion. He actually had the religion a long time ago. Aaron Sconner, just as a little bit of a side, he was actually my professor for XML services when it was first called XML services before it became
Cool.
WCF. He actually, with our company that we're both with, he actually was like, in a sense, they were a partner. I think I'm trying to remember the name of the company right now, but Don Box was part of it and all that stuff back in the day, and he was one of those highly respected professors. I have his book from back then, the XML XPath book, How to Do It, signed by him. In fact, I made him sign it. And he went off to do Pluralsight, and he's doing very, very well. I totally support how they're doing all their stuff, and I know that they've been looking forward to trying to get a lot of this stuff going. And so that's one of the things, right? To be able to go stuff on the go, right? People will want stuff on the go. They want to have smaller form factors. You're not always going to have necessarily fast internet, but here's the other thing, though. And they were talking about it, potentially nationalizing the 5G network. Whether they do that or not, that's coming. All right. Eventually, there's going to be a day where, unless you are literally deep in NORAD mountains or someplace, you're not going to have a connection. Right?
Well, okay. So, but to be real, I mean, my parents lived. Well, my mom lives out in rural Kentucky.
Oh dear.
Down in rural Kentucky, near the Tennessee border.
Oh.
In western Kentucky, out in the boonies.
Oh, on the Hatfield or McCoy side of things.
Yeah. So they don't. I mean,
well, that's what. See, Tennessee. That's Kentucky, right? That's last thing. I'm getting confused between that and Tennessee, where the Tennessee Valley Authority brought power to the masses.
Right. Well, but it was Kentucky Dam that did a bunch of that. Anyway,
right. That's right.
The point is that that they live out far enough that even the phone system is sketchy, and you do get wireless, but you get like 2G. So
wow.
Yeah, the only thing that they could really get that would give them bandwidth was satellite.
Right.
And that was awful because they couldn't even get like a 2400 baud reliable 2400 baud connection to make the requests.
Oh my gosh.
Through their telephone line because they're at the end of the copper.
Oh, whoa.
So I don't know that even a 5G is going to help there. So there are going to be.
That's not going to help. That's the only way that would help is actually someone puts out stuff. Now, what's very interesting, I am seeing when I drive around the United States over here, and I am seeing all these towers going up everywhere. I see even my neighbors over here will get sometimes the ones with nice buildings will get like little letters in the mail. Hey, we want to put a tower on top of your building. We're going to pay you $5,000 a month. They're like, man, why don't? That's almost like a good reason to go buy a building to get rented out. But I think, and let's just say I'm already saturated in my area, but that would be the next case. Just like they're building wind farms on farmers' lands. They're saying, hey, we're going to pay you X. We're going to put a big tower over here for a wind machine. Maybe they would do the same thing and put the towers up, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they nationalize it, then there would be a level of service that, let's get real.
Yeah.
Commercial companies aren't going to do.
Yeah, that's true. It's got to be kicked off from somewhere. If you think about it, the internet itself was a government-launched thing. The government started setting it up, and once that was set up, then the company said, okay, now that I see what you got, now I'm willing to invest and put money into it. And now that I can see I can make money on it, I'm going to put way more money in it than you ever thought of putting in.
Well, I mean, there's a reason that public utilities are public utilities, and I think that United States is really behind in. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Cable and satellite and all that stuff. That's the worst. that's some crap there.
What you
I mean,
gonna do? Well, obviously we don't have any cable and satellite clients right now, so that's helpful for us to talk this way. Speaking of though of clients, because we're talking about the thin client over here. So going
yes,
back to our favorite little device that we put in. So something like this essentially, all right, when you can bring things around and just plug in. What would happen though? It's like you'd still need at the very least. Well, I'm just trying to think because this seems so powerful just by itself that it can
right.
run a lot. I mean, like everything an iPad can run or everything a little tablet, Samsung
Sure.
tablet can fit in that machine.
Yes. Oh, certainly that. I mean, I could actually code on it. I really though, and it does have Wi-Fi. I mean, it's got a real nice dual band um,
Right.
into wireless built in, and so I'll just need to be able to connect to whatever wireless is available.
Oh, so you could. Oh, so hold on a second. So imagine networking these things, and you can have your own little mini lab. So instead of having the big room with the refrigerator and the huge fans, you have a whole bunch of these little guys, essentially simulating what used to be the NORAD like early warning system of the
Yeah,
1960s.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, this is at home in streaming videos and stuff like that. This is going to take the place of a Raspberry Pi that I never really got up to snuff with.
Yeah,
Uh,
so that's my favorite old toy to play with, the Raspberry Pi. Every so often, I'll bring it out. Hey, look, here's like some tricks you can do with it. It's almost like those like quaint little like those mechanical toys that you used to see, like in old homes and stuff when you find them. It's like, hey, check it out. Here's a clown that goes up and down and stuff. It was made in 1890. It's very very cool looking. It feels like that now. The Raspberry Pi. It's very quaint. And I look at something like this and it's like, oh my God, Raspberry Pi. Weren't you just a few years ago? This is like, whoa, oh my gosh. I'm just looking right now at the specs, right over here. Holy smokes. So
mhm.
we're going to include a link to this, guys. So we're going to say, like, if you're going to spend the money, this is bang for the buck. And I'm going to have to say yes. This is going on my birthday wish list.
All right. Well, now that and I am cheap. They do have one that's running the M processor, as they say. That's a little bit more expensive. It's about twice as expensive, to be frank, but you get a lot more compute.
Right.
I'm thinking that this has enough compute for me, though. I
Well,
mean,
this
it's the
this is
equivalent of a Chrome.
compute that you can slide not just into your pocket. Oh my gosh, you can. Oh no, I'm bad. I'm just thinking of all the sneaky ways that you can sneak a machine in and out of places. It's like ridiculous, but I guess that's the way it's going, right? The only reason why these can't get any smaller is because the plugs that we have are still old school.
Right.
HDMI is still a plug. I mean, for that matter, if it could have been wireless, no more HDMI, then that'd be gone. USB wireless, whoosh, power wireless. Whoosh. How is it getting power, by the way? It powers to whatever it connects to?
I believe it's going to power up the HDMI. I'm really not sure.
Oh,
It
because I
looks
know
like it has a
USB.
micro USB power port, so it
Right,
might need a micro USB. Might need a USB connection to power it.
to power it. Okay, so because that's the only thing that seems to be missing here, the power. And then as long as it's not a big, huge, heavy brick that they give with some of these Dell machines, that's like then okay. Because like, can you imagine like here, look, is there a very tiny device? It looks really cool. How do you power it? And then they
It's
give you this
got a
big,
brick.
this big brick comes falling. In fact, that's going to be the graphic right over here, a brick coming. Like or a big anchor. It's like, hey, it's a little toy boat, and then your anchor. Okay,
So
great.
I don't know if it's powered off HDMI or if it's powered
Right.
off a USB.
So the
But
question, let's see. So the question is though, yeah, great. You have something you can fit in your pocket, but if the brick can't fit into your pocket, it's not as useful as it
right.
could be.
but then again, I've got a cell phone recharging brick, right? One of those batteries.
Oh yeah. So maybe that's all you need.
And I mean, I carry it around anyway. And it's a
Yeah.
1200 micro or 12,000 rather micro,
Microamp,
whatever's
the microamp power. Yeah. Yeah.
microamps. So I think it could probably run it for a while.
All right. So we may have to have like an actual live video of a demonstration of you using this at some point. Let's get a camera. That's going to be hopefully sometime this year. We've been just showing screens and stuff like that, but at some point we're going to have to do a David Letterman and actually show this stuff and not really break them, but show them.
Yeah, we'll either get Larry to Chicago or Ralph to New York.
New York, one of the two. That's true. That will happen. New York, actually, more likely for me to be in New York though, because that's a place I definitely go to a lot. So, all right, that's it for this show then. I think, unless there's something else you'd like to share with us, like credit card numbers or anything like that. No, not today.
Not today.
Not today. Okay, this is a PCI compliant show. And of course GDPR compliant as well. So we're not giving out any information that is not without telling you that we're about to give out the information, which you're not telling you yet. All right. Okay. I'm going to let. Yes. What else? What you got?
Company. I will just say, companies other than Intel make these. If you're looking at something like this, look around to the different types of compute sticks. I know Asus has one. We're not sponsored by Intel or anything like that. Although if they do want to send Ralph one, since I've already bought mine, if they want to send Ralph one.
Here we go. Compute sticks. Intel, RKM, Intel, compute sticks. Of course, looks like Intel is the top trender over here on the items. But chances are there will be other compute sticks. But the Intel one looks like it's trending, because that's what's happening right now in Google. All right. So, Mr. Trent, we will let that go. And we'll catch you on the next show.
All right. Bye-bye.
3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.